What even is love? Princess Leonor and Sophia redefine royal affection. She was 8 years old when she first asked the question that would define her entire existence. What even is love? Princess Leonor reportedly asked her mother Queen Letizia during a car ride back from a royal engagement. It was an innocent question, the kind any child might ask. But for a future queen being groomed to represent an entire nation, for a girl who would spend her life under microscopes and cameras, for someone whose every relationship would be scrutinized and dissected, this wasn't just a philosophical musing. It was the central question of her life. The answer, it turned out, wouldn't come from books or tutors or royal protocols. It would come from the 6-year-old girl sitting beside her in that car, fidgeting with her seatbelt and humming a song from a Disney movie. Her sister Sophia wouldn't explain love to Leonor, she would show her, day after day, year after year, in 1,000 small moments that no camera could capture and no protocol could script. Together, these two Spanish princesses would answer that impossible question in the only way it can truly be answered, by living it. The impossible question, what even is love? Philosophers have debated it for millennia. Poets have tried to capture it in verse. Scientists have attempted to reduce it to chemicals and neural pathways. But for someone born into royalty, the question becomes exponentially more complex. How do you define love when you can never be certain if people love you for yourself or for your title? How do you trust affection when everyone around you has agendas? How do you distinguish genuine connection from careful performance? Princess Leonor of Spain has spent her entire life navigating this impossible terrain. Born on October 31, 2005, she entered a world where every relationship would be complicated by her position as heir to the Spanish throne. Her friendships would be scrutinized for appropriateness. Her romantic future would become a matter of state interest. Every embrace, every smile, every moment of apparent affection would be analyzed for political implications. In such a world, genuine love becomes both infinitely precious and impossibly difficult to identify. How would she know what was real? How could she trust her own feelings when she'd been trained from birth to manage her emotions for public consumption? How could she distinguish between the love people felt for Princess Leonor and whatever feelings they might have for just Leonor? The answer, surprisingly, came from the one relationship in her life that predated her understanding of her own royal status, her bond with her younger sister Sophia. Before Leonor fully comprehended what it meant to be heir to the throne, before she understood the weight of crowns and the complications of duty, she simply had a sister. And in that foundational relationship, she would discover what love actually means. Love is presence. The first and most fundamental answer to, what even is love, revealed itself in the simplest possible way, presence. Sophia was there. Not there because protocol demanded it, not there because cameras were watching, not there because some future political advantage required it. Just there, consistently, constantly, unconditionally. Watch videos of the sisters throughout their childhood and you'll see it. Sophia's eyes constantly track Leonor during public events. Not in an anxious way, but in the manner of someone who simply wants to know where their person is. When Leonor speaks at formal ceremonies, Sophia listens, actually listens, not the glazed eye tolerance that most siblings display during each other's moments. This presence became particularly meaningful as Leonor's responsibilities increased. As she began taking on more official duties, spending more time in formal settings, carrying more of the weight that comes with being heir apparent, Sophia remained present. Not as an obligation, but as a choice. She showed up to Leonor's speeches, attended her ceremonies, supported her initiatives, not because royal duty required it, but because that's what love does. It shows up. The presence wasn't always physical. When Leonor left for UWC Atlantic College in Wales, Sophia couldn't be there in person. But their connection remained constant through messages, calls, and the kind of communication that transcends distance. Love, they discovered, wasn't about physical proximity, it was about consistent emotional availability. Love is protection without possession. As Leonor grappled with understanding love, another answer emerged through Sophia's behavior. Love protects without possessing. This distinction is crucial, especially in royal contexts where protection often slides into control and care transforms into management. Sophia developed an instinct for when her sister needed defending and when she needed space. During public events where Leonore seemed overwhelmed, Sophia would subtly redirect attention or create small disruptions that gave her sister breathing room. But she never inserted herself into situations where Leonore was handling things competently on her own. This balance is extraordinarily difficult to achieve. Overprotective siblings smother and create dependence. Distant siblings leave each other vulnerable to cruelty and isolation. Sophia seemed to intuitively understand the difference, offering protection that empowered rather than diminished Leonore's own capabilities. The distinction became particularly important during their teenage years. Adolescence is complicated enough without the added pressure of being constantly photographed and analyzed. Sophia became a buffer between Leonore and the worst excesses of public scrutiny, but never in a way that suggested Leonore couldn't handle it herself. Love, they were discovering, meant trusting someone enough to let them face their own challenges while remaining ready to step in if needed. It meant being a safety net without being a cage. Love is celebration without envy. Perhaps nowhere is the sisters' answer to, what even is love, more evident than in how they handle each other's successes. Royal siblings historically struggled with competition and jealousy, particularly when one held titles and responsibilities the other didn't. Sophia and Leonore demolished this pattern entirely. Sophia celebrates Leonore's achievements with unfiltered enthusiasm. When Leonore delivers a particularly powerful speech, Sophia's pride is visible and genuine. When Leonore receives praise or recognition, Sophia beams with reflected joy. There's no hint of the resentment that might be expected from someone living in another's shadow. This celebration runs both directions. Leonore consistently highlights Sophia's accomplishments, ensuring her sister receives recognition for her own talents and contributions. She uses her platform to amplify Sophia's voice rather than monopolizing attention. When Sophia excels in her own pursuits, academics, sports, artistic endeavors, Leonore's support is immediate and authentic. Their approach reveals a crucial understanding. Love means finding joy in another person's happiness, even when that happiness comes from things you don't share. It means celebrating someone else's moment without making it about yourself. It means genuine pride without possessiveness or competition. This aspect of love has implications beyond their personal relationship. It models for young Spaniards a way of relating that contradicts our culture's obsession with individual achievement and zero-sum competition. Their example suggests that we can celebrate others without diminishing ourselves. Love is truth-telling. As both sisters matured, another dimension of love revealed itself, the capacity to tell each other truth, even uncomfortable truth. This might be the most difficult aspect of love to master, particularly in royal contexts where so many people tell you what you want to hear rather than what you need to know. People close to the royal family report that Sophia has never hesitated to call out Leonore when needed. Not cruelly or publicly, but with the honesty that genuine love permits. When Leonore takes herself too seriously, Sophia reminds her to laugh. When Leonore's perfectionism threatens to become paralysis, Sophia pushes her forward. When Leonore needs to hear that she's wrong about something, Sophia tells her. This truth-telling is reciprocal. Leonore provides Sophia with honest feedback about her behavior, choices, and approach to royal responsibilities. She does so with kindness but without the sugar coating that would ultimately be unhelpful. Their love creates space for honesty that strengthens rather than damages their bond. The ability to speak truth to each other has become increasingly important as they navigate more complex situations. In a world where nearly everyone around them has agendas, political, social, personal, having one relationship defined by honesty rather than manipulation is invaluable. Love, they've learned, isn't about always agreeing or never criticizing. It's about caring enough to risk temporary discomfort for long-term growth and well-being. Love is shared silence. Not all of their answer to, what even is love, comes in words or actions. Some of it exists in the comfortable silences they share, the moments when nothing needs to be said because understanding is already complete. Watch them during long royal ceremonies and you'll see it, the ability to simply exist together without performance or pretense. While others around them maintain constant vigilance about appearance and protocol, Leonore and Sophia can retreat into shared silence that refreshes rather than exhausts. This capacity for comfortable silence is rare and precious. It indicates a depth of connection that transcends the need for constant communication. They don't need to fill every moment with conversation because their bond doesn't depend on words. The silence isn't absence of communication, it's a different form of it. They communicate through glances, slight shifts in posture, barely perceptible changes in expression. They've developed a language that operates below the threshold of what others can detect. In royal life, where so much is performance and so little is private, these moments of shared silence provide essential respite. Love, they've discovered, sometimes means nothing more or less than being able to rest in another person's presence without explanation or entertainment. Love is permission to be imperfect. Growing up royal means growing up under pressure to appear perfect. Every appearance is scrutinized, every gesture analyzed, every word dissected. In such an environment, the pressure to maintain flawless facades becomes crushing. Sophia and Leonore's relationship provides each other something invaluable: permission to be imperfect. With each other, they can drop the carefully maintained public personas. Leonore can be anxious, uncertain, occasionally overwhelmed. Sophia can be moody, silly, sometimes irresponsible. Neither judges the other for these very human qualities because their love isn't conditional on perfection. This permission extends to their mistakes. When one sister makes a public misstep, an awkward comment, a fashion choice that doesn't land well, a moment of visible discomfort, the other provides understanding rather than criticism. They've created a space where failure is safe, where growth is more important than appearance. The impact of this mutual permission to be imperfect extends beyond their private relationship. It affects how they present themselves publicly as well. Because they have one relationship where imperfection is acceptable, they can be more authentic in their public roles. The security of being fully accepted by at least one person makes the constant scrutiny of public life more bearable. Love, they've learned, isn't about holding each other to impossible standards. It's about being the place where someone can be fully human without fear of rejection. Love is sacrifice without resentment. As Leonore's responsibilities have increased, Sophia has made countless small sacrifices, adjusted her schedule to accommodate her sister's needs, stepped back from attention to let Leonore shine, taken on additional duties to support Leonore's commitments. What makes these sacrifices part of their answer to, what even is love, is the apparent absence of resentment. Sophia doesn't seem to view her supporting role as diminishment of her own importance. She's chosen to define success differently, not as individual recognition but as contribution to something larger than herself. Her sacrifices for Leonore are made freely rather than grudgingly. Leonore, for her part, recognizes and acknowledges these sacrifices. She doesn't take Sophia's support for granted or assume it's simply what younger sisters owe older ones. She expresses gratitude, reciprocates when possible, and ensures Sophia knows her contributions are valued. This dynamic reveals something crucial about love. It involves sacrifice, but genuine love transforms sacrifice from burden into gift. When you truly love someone, supporting them doesn't diminish you, it expands you. Sophia's sacrifices for Leonore have made her larger, not smaller, because they've been freely given and gratefully received. The royal context makes this particularly significant. In a system often criticized for being based on hereditary privilege, their relationship demonstrates that even privilege can be tempered by genuine care and mutual sacrifice. Love is collaborative growth. Both sisters are still developing, still discovering who they're becoming. What makes their relationship remarkable is how they've made this growth collaborative rather than competitive. They push each other to be better while accepting each other as they are, a paradox that genuine love somehow makes possible. Leonore challenges Sophia to take their responsibilities more seriously, to recognize the platform they have and the good they can do. Sophia challenges Leonore to lighten up, to remember that duty doesn't require the sacrifice of joy, that being future queen doesn't mean abandoning being human. They've created a dynamic where growth is mutual rather than individual. Leonore's increasing confidence makes Sophia braver. Sophia's spontaneity makes Leonore more authentic. Each becomes more fully herself through interaction with the other, suggesting that love isn't about losing yourself in another person, it's about finding more of yourself through them. Their collaborative growth extends to their skills and knowledge as well. They teach each other languages, customs, perspectives on issues facing Spain and the world. Learning becomes something they do together rather than separately, enriching both of them in the process. Love is witness. One of the most profound aspects of their answer to, what even is love, is the role of witness. Sophia has witnessed Leonore's entire journey from ordinary child to future queen. She's seen the pressure, the sacrifices, the moments of doubt and determination. She knows the full story, not just the public narrative. This witnessing is reciprocal. Leonore has watched Sophia grow from toddler to teenager, has seen her develop her own identity while supporting someone else's destiny. She knows the complexity of Sophia's experience, the challenges of being forever second in official importance regardless of personal worth. Being fully known, having someone who has witnessed your entire story and still chooses to love you, is one of life's greatest gifts. In royal contexts, where so many relationships are transactional and so much of life is performance, having a witness to your authentic self becomes invaluable. The witnessing creates accountability as well. They can't pretend to be someone they're not because the other person knows better. This forces a kind of authenticity that strengthens both of them, preventing the disconnection from reality that sometimes afflicts people in positions of extreme privilege. Love is future imagination. As they look toward the future, toward Leonore's eventual reign and Sophia's evolving role, their relationship demonstrates another dimension of love, the capacity to imagine and create future together. They're not just living in the present moment, they're actively building toward a shared vision of what their partnership can become. This future imagination is evident in how they discuss their plans and dreams. They don't talk about Leonore's future or Sophia's future as separate trajectories, they imagine their futures as interconnected, each supporting and enhancing the other's path. Their vision includes transforming Spanish monarchy into something more responsive, more inclusive, more relevant to 21st century democratic values. But crucially, they imagine doing this work together rather than separately. Their love has become not just a personal bond but a collaborative project aimed at serving something larger than themselves. Love is question and answer. So what even is love? After watching Princess Leonore and Sophia answer this question through their relationship, we might say, love is showing up consistently. Love is protecting without possessing. Love is celebrating another's joy without envy. Love is truth-telling that strengthens rather than wounds. Love is comfortable silence and permission to be imperfect. Love is sacrifice without resentment and growth that's collaborative rather than competitive. Love is witnessing another's full story and still choosing them. Love is imagining and building a future together. But perhaps the most important part of their answer is this: love is a question you never stop asking and an answer you never finish discovering. Leonore asked, "What even is love?" at 8 years old, and in many ways, she's still asking it. Each day with Sophia provides new answers, new dimensions, new understandings of what this impossible, essential thing actually means. Their relationship hasn't provided a final, definitive answer to the question, it's provided a living, evolving answer that continues to unfold with each choice they make, each challenge they face, each moment they share. The question, what even is love, isn't one you answer once and move on from. It's one you answer continuously through how you live, who you prioritize, what you're willing to sacrifice, and who you become in the presence of another person. The royal answer. In the context of monarchy, their answer to, what even is love, has additional significance. Royal families have often struggled with love, viewing it as weakness or distraction from duty. Personal affection was subordinated to institutional needs. Genuine connection was sacrificed for political advantage. Leonore and Sophia are demonstrating an alternative model. Love is strength rather than weakness, connection is asset rather than liability, affection is foundation for effective service rather than distraction from it. Their bond doesn't undermine their ability to fulfill royal responsibilities, it enhances it. This realization has implications for monarchy itself. If love, genuine, messy, complicated human love, can coexist with royal duty and even strengthen it, then perhaps monarchy can be more human without being less effective. Perhaps institutions built on connection rather than just tradition can be more resilient and relevant. The universal question. While Leonore's question emerged from her specific royal context, it's a question every human being must grapple with. What even is love? How do we recognize it? How do we nurture it? How do we distinguish genuine connection from performance or manipulation? The sisters' answer, found not in words but in years of lived experience, offers insights that extend far beyond palace walls. Their demonstration that love can coexist with responsibility, that affection can enhance rather than undermine effectiveness, that genuine connection can flourish even under intense scrutiny, provides hope for all of us navigating complicated relationships in complicated times. They've shown that love doesn't require perfect circumstances or absence of pressure. It requires choice, the daily choice to show up, to protect, to celebrate, to tell truth, to witness, to grow together. Love is what happens when you keep choosing someone, keep seeing them, keep believing that the connection you share is worth whatever effort it requires to maintain. The continuing answer. Princess Leonor is now 18 years old, a decade older than when she first asked her mother, what even is love? The question that seemed philosophical has become existential. As she prepares for military service, eventual university, and the crown that awaits her, understanding love becomes not just personally important but politically crucial. Her answer, co-created with Sophia through thousands of ordinary moments across extraordinary circumstances, continues to evolve. Each new challenge they face together adds depth to their understanding. Each sacrifice made, each celebration shared, each truth told, each silence comfortable enough to sustain, all of it contributes to an answer that's never quite complete because love itself is never static. The 8-year-old who asked, what even is love, has become an 18-year-old who knows that the question wasn't naive, it was essential. And the 6-year-old sister who sat beside her in that car has become the 16-year-old who has helped answer it in the most profound way possible, by being someone worth loving and by loving someone worth being. In their continuing answer to that impossible question, Spain has found not just its future queens, but a model for how love can transform duty into joy, how connection can convert obligation into privilege, and how asking, what even is love, is the first step toward building relationships worth living for.